All right, welcome race fans to another IMSC, round 4 this time. We're actually in Germany for this round, so I'm going to hand it over to ORC Yankees fan as he describes the track.
Yes, good evening. We'll be at Motorsport Arena Oschersleban this week. It's a 2.28 mile track located in Oschersleban, Borde, Germany. It's a FIA Grade 2 track, and it holds, it's known for holding DTM, FIA GT, Superbike, and World Touring Car Championship races.
Very nice.
It opened in July, it opened in July 25, 1997 as the 4th permanent race course after Nürburgring, Hockenheim, and Sachsenring in Germany.
How far is that located away from Nürburgring? Does it say, or give you on the map? Does it say anything?
No, it doesn't say.
Bummer. Okay. Well, also we do have another guest commenter, a driver commenter, who's just joined ORC in the racing community. Quick Sketch. How's it going?
Good. How y'all doing?
I think everybody's doing well. I don't think they can answer us back, but that's okay. When you answer, when you listen to this video and watch this video, please comment how you're doing, because I think Quick Sketch would like that. So we're going to jump into the action here. As you can see, we're driving the old 190E Mercedes-Benz DTM car, touring car. This is part of our IMSC challenge, which is driving the touring cars, or Group A cars in this case, and then moving on to race number 2 for a 30-minute race in the GT3. This week is the Bentley GT3, or the Boatley as we like to affectionately call it. So we're going to jump right into the action here. We're going to be on board with Quick Sketch right now, actually, and as we start going through here. Actually, did it? Hang on. No, I'm on board with myself.
Okay, it does appear to be you.
Yeah, it's me.
Which is also fine.
Yeah, going 3 wide into turn 1 was actually fun, and I remember commenting it during the race. Interesting. All right, let's see what happens here, and then everybody was good.
Yes.
Look at that.
Tight squeeze coming into turn 1, as you can see. So that was definitely puckering.
Yeah, and that's you, Quick Sketch, in second place. Let's go through the order real quick. We got Speedy in first right now, Quick Sketch in second, Rooster in third, Dieterman in fourth, and Yankees fan in fifth place here. So really light showing and outcome this round, which is okay. Definitely we're missing a lot of drivers. So the action will be fast and furious with the guys that we do have, though. So let's go on board. Yeah, you can tell by the camera shake, exactly. That was a nice touch, I thought, actually. All right, we're following around Rooster right now, just in third place, kind of right in a sandwich in the middle here, in the Berlin number 5. Nokia. I mean, there's tons of sponsors on there. Oh, look at that! Take out a cone there.
Yeah, I believe Michael Schumacher actually drove one of those cars in that livery in his earlier career.
Really? That's cool.
Random top tip.
No, that's cool.
DTM tip.
I mean, hey, one of the best drivers to drive any car, let alone what he was actually driving in. But you're right, he would actually branch out to a few different car types and manufacturers, and was always quick.
Yeah, early on in his career, exactly.
Yeah, and obviously sad, not to put a damper on this whole race here, but sad what's going on with him. I don't even know if there's any news recently. I think I tried to look like a couple months ago, and I still can't see anything. But
yeah, the family definitely keeps a pretty tight hold on the info, but it's I heard like somewhat stable. But still, nevertheless, we're never going to have him back in that regard. Not to carry the damper on.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of hard to do that. So real quick, let's go with you, Yankee, first. Get you in the commentary. What was your thoughts on this track? Because I think if I remember correctly, most of us had never really driven this track. Is that true for you too?
Yeah, it was my first time. Once I got the hang of it, I enjoyed it. I like especially the dirt sector is very, it has a nice rhythm to it. I liked it.
Oh, we're on board, and that's where Rooster lost it right there, actually. And goes down. Dieterman goes up to third. No, Rooster. Oh, Dieterman lost it too.
Oh,
Nice. I didn't even plan that.
Yeah, Curve Monster struck again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
Dieterman gets scared by Rooster.
Yeah. So what was the Yanka? We'll keep going with you, and then we'll go to quick sketch. What was the hardest part of this track for you?
I would say the triple left-handers was the toughest for me to get right.
Gotcha.
To really make adjustments to the car to keep it stable, so I can maximize speed through that section.
And we talked with you before. You actually like to put your driving style. You're very, very calm, very patient. That's one of the things I've always noticed from you. And you're very fair, obviously. But as far as the driving technique, I noticed, and you talked about it, that you actually like to put a lot of slip angle into these touring cars. Was that true for this car as well?
This car, I like slip angle a little too much, so I couldn't do that.
So you had to manage it.
I struggled a lot with setup with this car.
Okay.
More so than any other car, really.
Oh, so this you would say is the most difficult car you've driven in our series so far?
Just wait to the Ford. Go to the X-ray.
Yeah. Okay, so we're on board with quick sketch right now. So perfectly, or the right time actually to have you comment on some stuff. So we'll talk with you about the same thing. So have you driven this track a lot too?
No, I think it's the first time definitely really racing it. There was one of those community time trials that you conveniently right before this. So I was giving it a shot in a cage room, but nevertheless, I never got comfortable with it.
So what was the most difficult part of the track for you?
Yeah, I'd have to say, well, turn one just always kind of sucked, in my opinion. I was really trying to get in and then, of course, get the car rotated and get it back out through turn two. But then also, I guess, yeah, I mean, it was kind of same with Yankees fan. The big kind of left-hand sweeper it was a love and hate kind of thing. That if you entered it just right, it'd be great, but if you were just an inch off, you're spinning. And then also, of course, coming to the entrance to the following large kind of right-hand sweeper, of course, really tough to get the car settled before the braking zone, and then again, rotating the opposite direction. I can go on. Most of those turns I wasn't a huge fan of. Just
Yeah.
to be honest, but we'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah, actually, you see me right there in the yellow car in front get a little wiggle right there coming through turn one. To me, that was the biggest characteristic kind of issue with this track. Is everything else really flowed really nicely for me, but turn one right there, it's just such a crazy hard left, hard right angled into a sweeper, which was kind of interesting. It definitely creates, and I think the reason why they did it is they really wanted to slow the cars down and have a good attacking point in turn one, which I guess makes sense from a fan perspective, but from a driver perspective, it just really interrupted the flow for me. So that was, again, hey, there you go. There's your corner right there you're talking about, the left-to-right complex where I go into the grass and lose a bunch.
That's right.
So I think this is the lap where you catch up a lot, and then we're about to see a challenge for the lead mounting the next lap or two, I believe. So yeah, the only problem with this... Go ahead.
Go for it, pardon me.
No.
Carry on.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. But so talking with us, because you mentioned me kind of catching up to you, was that, so speaking of setup earlier, that the whole time I've been tuning my car with, let's say, 7 to 10 gallons of fuel, or laps of fuel, however many liters that would be. But then we hop into the race, and the first time ever I did a full load, I think it was, 20 or so liters. In which case, then, so chasing you, the car was all over the place. It was understeering where it used to turn in and all that kind of stuff. And it was by the time I kind of realized the fuel load difference, but then also that I found that you could adjust the sway bars on the car. So I think I stiffened them up a notch front and back, and that's when I started picking it up. And there we have.
And there's our instant. So here, actually, we were talking about it recently. So we were just talking about it before about this, and it's interesting the perspective. So watch this. So hang on, let me pause it here. Let me get the different. So we're on board with you already. So this is the trackside cam. So what I want to do is show you guys what I was talking about, which is if you go on board quick sketch here, let's go on board let's go with chase cam. No, let's go with cockpit cam first. Okay. So cockpit cam, you see here. So you can see I'm slightly ahead here. Now the braking zone for this is right on the right side there, pretty much at that access road. But given that I was so far on the inside, I actually brake a little bit earlier, and you were actually able to carry more speed because you broke at the normal space. So you'll see my car drop back here. We'll go in slow motion here, but you can see right there, I start braking now, you start braking now. So you're actually clear. So if you look at it from this perspective, and then in the top right, you can see the back of my car right there. So you can now you know exactly where I'm at. So I'm still there, but I think at this point you had thought you cleared, and then you turn in. Right, you turn it and arguably to the apex, but with two cars there, it just doesn't fit. So it's one of those classic scenarios where two cars are trying to occupy the same space. Okay, so now let's go back here. This is probably a good spot right here.
Right, and I can definitely, even just looking at that, I can see too. I think that I'm sure I was starting to lock the brakes up, and in which case I'm trying to get the front turned in so I could then try to power through and not just go washing way out. But then we have what we see.
Right. And here's another good angle too. But so now it even looks like you've almost cleared me right there.
Right. Yeah, I just straight up pinch you off there though.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad looking.
It's a forced narrow, but I love this because like I said, when I looked at it, I was really like, wow. When you look at it from that perspective, like it changes your view on things. And then when you look at from this perspective here, you get a whole nother picture.
Oh, that's terrible.
Right. So, but and sorry to throw you. It's not throwing you the bus at all. This to me is a learning opportunity. Just to never judge, an incident, and obviously we know we have the gentleman's rule of racing and code of racing in this. So what that means is that when we have an incident like that, because people are going to make mistakes and people are going to do stuff in a race that can affect the outcome. But what we want to do is we want to give them benefit of the doubt. It's just it's just a mistake. It's not intentional. It's nothing nefarious or anything like that. So we'll actually get on board with the cams again, the trackside cams, and then we'll go. Hang on, actually, we'll go to. We'll go with me because you'll end up being in front. So what ends up happening is that obviously after this incident, you see quick sketch wait on the outside here, and even slow down right there. You can see. I get it sorted, and then when I come around this corner, I tell them go, everything's fine, and then we continue our battle. So that's exactly what we kind of expect, is that if a mistake happens, just rectify the situation right then and there, and there'll be no issue. Sometimes a lot of drivers, and you've seen it a lot in public lobbies, is they'll automatically jump to the conclusion that they were right. And maybe they honestly think that, or maybe that's just their rationalization for stuff, and then they get all upset and they move on, and they don't rectify the position. This is a little different with league racing. League racing, we're here to race clean, and that's what our goal is. Mistakes aside, which everybody can make, I'm guilty of it, of course, we still rectify that situation. We race on, and nobody's butthurt. We just keep going. So that's why we asked you into the league too, and that's why when you commented on our post or whatever, and we can already tell what kind of driver you are and what type of driver you are. So, oh look, Luke's looking for a post. Awesome. Fortnite. Who cares about Fortnite? Sorry. Yankees cares about Fortnite. Sorry, Yankee. Didn't mean to offend you. Yankee plays Fortnite with his cousin a lot, I think. All right, so let's. He enjoys it. So now we've got a battle for 1 and 2. Let's kind of quickly go over where everybody is on track, and actually that's what I want to do is I want to put on the map here. So we can kind of see, there's actually a battle back here. So let's go focus on, looks like this battle between Yankee and Ditoman right now. So Yankee, do you recall parts of this race here when Dito's behind you and what the pressure was like?
Yeah, I was just trying to hit my marks and trying to give him an opportunity to pass. But I ended up doing it anyway. But that's for later on in the video.
It's for later on. Okay.
Happens to the lesson.
Yeah. Yeah, so I struggled actually on this corner too. I tested during testing in the race. I struggled with getting the left tires on there to see if it would help. Obviously, you can't get the whole car over it, but just putting left tires, I've actually found over those big monster curves was actually comfortable. It didn't really unsettle the car very much. Did you guys find that out too, or did you guys just completely stay away from them?
Well, as you can kind of tell from my line I took with you, I definitely wasn't too afraid of the curve. And I did say my fastest lap times would be going pretty much straight over them.
Yeah. And this
Yeah, I
chicane,
used the curve as well.
you did?
I
Okay.
felt like it pedaled the car by doing so.
Yeah, this chicane right here was really touchy. I think this is where everybody was getting either penalties or slowdown, you know, penalties where you had to actually breathe off the throttle right here. But the cool thing is you could actually go along this whole section, I noticed, right here, make this right-hander, and then as long as you slowed down here at the exit, at the corner here where Sector 2 ends, right here, as long as you slowed down enough, then it would go away. Otherwise, coming up right here to this corner is where you got pinged for the penalty if you kept going.
Interesting. I did not. I just always looked at. That would have been good to know.
Well, yeah, because the whole goal when you get that penalty or the slowdown penalty is where can I slow down without causing me the worst slowdown, you know, rather than just letting off the throttle for 2-3 seconds just to make sure on a straightaway. That's definitely not where you want. So one thing I learned a long time ago is either try to look for a hairpin or like actually the new track we're coming up to this week is perfect for that. There's a bunch of hairpins. So if you get a slowdown, just don't even bother with it. Just do, because you'll slow down enough at the hairpin. But anyway, that's for another discussion too. But for this track in particular, maybe breathe off the throttle. If I'm braking at the 100 board, then I'm letting go of the throttle at 200 and just coasting into the 100 and then slowing down at normal 100. And then you're going in slower, but you're losing less time.
Yeah, it's cool. I just learned about this penalty thing, and for the longest time I always kept my foot in it and just got the penalties and figured that sucked. And then I happened to catch a YouTube video of watching someone lift. So it was only like the last couple weeks of finally realizing.
Yeah. You could also, I think, another valid technique is you could also just do a lot more trail braking into that corner. And again, just you're overslowing the car, but you'll hopefully get rid of that penalty too.
Right. Yeah, it's dragging it.
Yeah. Looks like Diedelman's holding on to you there, Yankee, during this. I thought you had blown away from him a little while ago, though.
He was right behind me for a good number of laps. I knew he was faster than me, but I just tried to make him work for it.
Yeah.
Did you have, were there certain sections that you felt that you were more confident than he was, or like you kind of gap versus, gap you versus you gapping him kind of thing?
I would say it looks like I was more comfortable in the third sector than he was. That's why I would gain an advantage, and then in the first sector he would get it back.
We're going to go on board. We're going to go on board with the cockpit cam at Yankee, so talk us through this lap really quick.
Yeah, we're already in second corner. It's a bit very delicate on the throttle as you spin. And here's another hairpin. There are hairpins in the front sector.
Yeah.
And
that symmetrical hairpin was a tough one, I thought. The exit right.
here we come to the most difficult part, at least for me, the triple left-hander. To balance the throttle with the steering, make sure you don't overcommit and then you'll lose control of the car. And this corner, you had a lot of grip here. I didn't have any trouble. And the chicane, as long as you kept it within curves, you didn't get a slowdown penalty. I would say this section right here, right-left, was another problem spot for most drivers too. If you committed too late, you would understeer into the grass on the left, and when you tried to correct it, you would go into the grass on the right.
Yeah, I think it was a little off-camber too, and I think it was Russo that finally shed light on that to realize the importance of the entry.
And the last corner, since it's a little elevated, you can brake really late there and then turn in. And the car really liked it there.
Now, did you say you set up your car with? Oh, there's your taking curb right there. Did you say you set up the car with a really stiff front end or a soft rear end, or how did you manage the car setup on this?
I softened the front. I softened the springs because there was a lot of roll. I tried to stiffen the front, and I softened the springs to get it settled. And it seemed to work. Yeah.
Now we're on board with Dito looking at the back of you now. So one thing I noticed watching you obviously through that, and I've noticed this before from you, is you're very smooth on your inputs. I can't see the brake and throttle inputs, but definitely for steering, you're very smooth on your inputs. And you're trying to balance the car just by being, I think, maybe it's slower sometimes, but just by being smooth.
Yeah.
And one thing, I mean, and Dito's been having lots of problems with I think, wheel issues with this game for some reason, and I think he's using a Fanatec system, and we were talking about it. I think it's just an issue of the Xbox just not having the power anymore to run, you know, such a good wheel and all the functions and everything else, and mixed in with the server issues that Project Cars 2 has now, and all that good stuff. But he's been hanging in there. I've been really surprised that he's backed out of a few races towards the end just because he gets super frustrated with it, which is totally understandable. But he keeps coming every week and still tries to race with us and starts doing it. So hats off to you, Dito, for keeping on. But it'd be awesome to see some of those issues mitigated and gone away. I think would be great. Ooh, a little deep into the last corner. Okay, let's go check out some of the other drivers here. Let's go on board with Rooster really quick. Let's do an onboard with him. You see there's a battle behind. I think that's the Yankee Dieterman battle, and then we've got the Quick Sketch and Speedy battle up in front of this. Looks like it's opened up a little bit. We can see the gaps are here. We've got a 2-second gap. 10-second gap back from first to third, a 28-second gap from first to fourth, and another still 28 seconds. So you guys, Dito and Yankee, you guys are going. Oh, somebody went off. I think Yankee, that was you.
Yeah,
I just saw up there.
Went off.
Yeah, let's replay that. And oh, your sector. Yeah. All right. So coming into this. Okay. So.
Yeah,
Go ahead, talk through this, yeah.
I saw Dito in my left mirror, and I thought he was going to poke his head in. So then I didn't look at the corner, and I just went wide.
Yeah. And that's definitely understandable, especially from a super respectful driver like yourself, where I know that when you get even close, you know, I think there's a time to battle, and maybe you thought this wasn't the time. Let's see how many minutes. We're 17 minutes into the race, still 14 left, so about halfway through. So did you just feel also too like you weren't going to take that corner and give him the space?
Yeah, I didn't. If he was going to try and make a move, I didn't want to pinch his nose, because then if we both get into an accident, then it's a sprint race, so pretty much done. There's no coming back from that if you have to fix the damage.
Yeah, so actually let's talk about that really quick. That brings up a good subject. Oh, as we watch you.
That, I don't know what happened there. The car just snapped on me. That's the first time that happened in that corner. Yeah.
That was a tank slapper for sure. That was a left, right, left, and then gone. I wish they had telemetry to see kind of what was going on with the tire grip at the time and stuff like that during these replays, but sadly they don't. But anyway, so what I was going to talk about was the sprint race format versus like the endurance format. So which one do you prefer, Yankee?
I love it. I love endurance. I don't mind sprint. It's like a different mindset, but my favorite is endurance.
What would you say is your target like time? Is it 2 hours, 4 hours, 8 hours? Like what's your ideal endurance length?
Doesn't matter. Any time is good. I'd say the 4-hour ones were pretty enjoyable. Just last year.
And those will be coming up again.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun, yeah. Quick Sketch, what do you think? Sprint races versus endurance?
Ooh, I'd probably have to go with sprint because I have never competed in endurance online racing or endurance racing in general. So yeah, that's all I've known. And sitting in my living room, just to me that makes more sense to kind of get in, get out, have a little bit of fun, and get back into another thing. Definitely be intrigued at I'm excited to try endurance, see what it's all about.
So what's the longest race you've competed in?
I think these. When I first was signing up and seeing 30-minute race, I'm like, oof, that's a lot of fun. I think before that it would be like a 10 lap race. Like, all right, it's a bigger one. ones, and that's just public lobbies for you, I'd say.
Right.
But
Yeah, and what was that? So we'll just get an idea. So you've been, how long have you played Project Cars 2?
I bought it when it was new, so I got the pre-release version of Project Cars 2.
Okay.
But with that, I don't think I had a wheel yet. No, I did not. Didn't even have a wheel yet, and it was just I was still kind of all about Forza Motorsports for controller racing the whole bit. But so then I think I didn't get to online racing with Project Cars until last year. Good old lockdown.
Right.
Kind of thing.
And that's when you got a wheel, you said?
I had a wheel before that. I had just like the entry-level Thrustmaster TMX that I had for maybe, it was 2 years, so everybody a couple years before that. I just never had the balls to get online with it still. I just was never really comfortable. Until then, yeah, so last year was the first time I finally started actually doing online racing with the wheel. I've got the new Fanatec, which is convenient or comfortable.
Oh, okay. So what Fanatec do you have?
The Club Sport. I did that Fanatec Xbox Play Forza bundle that they were selling.
Oh, okay. I think that's the wheel that Dito has too. So if you're not experiencing any issues, that would be interesting to find out what the correlation is between what's going on with his. We've had lengthy discussions on obviously updating the wheel, the firmware and stuff like that, and I think he's gone through all that stuff. So interesting. That would be an interesting topic. Maybe you can chat with him and see what's going on. You guys can troubleshoot it together maybe. But so the race here, getting back to that, the race here is actually opened up quite a bit. Again, we got 2 second gap, 15:33, and a 1 minute 34 now to Yankee. Yankee, did you pit for damage?
Yes, I did have
Okay.
damage. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. And to your point, that's the only problem with the sprint races, right? Is that we don't have a mandatory pit stop. So when you do make a mistake like that, hit a wall, do stuff like that, then you do have to take that pit. And you're right. Unless everybody else does the same thing, you're kind of out of that race already.
Yeah.
So it is. That's how racing goes. I think I make it. It's the same in real life. If you lose a wheel or the mechanic puts a wheel nut on wrong or something, you have to come back in or something like that. It's just stuff happens.
Oh yeah.
Or you run into the wall yourself as a real driver. But yeah, so this race, unfortunately, not terribly exciting. Again, with everybody spread out so much, so and with probably the least amount of participants we've ever had, I think, with 5 and 6 drivers, I think, in the second race. But I think what we'll do now is let's go on board with. We still got 9 minutes left in this. Let's go on board with each of the drivers and just watch a lap. The cockpit. I like the cockpit cam for some reason to watch. What about you guys? What do you prefer?
Yeah, the cockpit cam is cool to watch a lap. Yeah, so you can see it in their perspective.
And I think everybody here obviously is well versed in how to take corners and the brake points and when to use throttle and all that stuff. So I always find it interesting to watch each person's just how smooth they are and stuff. I want to say there's a no, there's not. I was thinking I wanted to put up the little display where you had the gears and you had, because this car doesn't show it, only shows the RPMs, where you have the gears and you have throttle and brake application.
You can't do the throttle. You can show the gearing and the speed though.
What's that one under? Do you remember? Ooh, a little wiggle there coming into T1. Because I think this is just the side, yeah.
I guess it's not there. I thought it was there.
I think it's there when you're in your normal, if you're driving. Then you can toggle it back and forth. But once you're in the replay, yeah, I can't toggle it. Which would be, like I said, it'd be cool if I could see that. Just to see what the with the brake, if they're trail braking into the corners, you know, how they're managing the throttle, how aggressive they're on throttle, how early they're on throttle, you know, stuff like that. But it's interesting to see kind of the wide angle. I was noticing the wide angle you took in that and came for a late apex on that corner. Quick sketch. So we still have 6 minutes left in this race. Rather boring one. Sorry, fans, for out there. But at least we'll get to watch some of the racecrafts with some of these drivers. Watch how they're handling this car, which can be. It was really feisty in the rear end. And actually, speaking of that too, I think you guys have driven the Sierra Cogsworth coming into the next round, right?
Not yet.
It's really fun, especially when the turbo kicks in. So be careful. So one thing I noticed is that in that car, it's coming up this next round at Rapuna, I think, in New Zealand. But the actual stock tune, I think, from stable or loose, it has you set up at 65% of boost, because if you go any more than that, even at 65, it's still a handful. So I would recommend just keeping it at 65 for the boost.
Okay.
Quick sketch, we still got you on? I think we may have lost him. Actually, there's a, looks like behind, is that you in a blue? Let's go really quick and see what's going on here. Is that you too?
Yeah.
No, it's who are you on the back of there?
Rooster.
Oh, Rooster lapped you, okay.
Yeah, I came out in front of him when I came out the pits, and I let him by.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, that's right. Yeah, look at the hood damage you got too. So you fixed the damage. Did you feel like the actual damage fixed, or was it just a visual that didn't get fixed on there?
Yeah, everything fixed, but for some reason on replays, it still shows the damage. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems kind of strange actually too. That it doesn't, and even when we're playing in game too, the people say your car looks messed up, but it's been repaired. But visually they don't fix it. If there's an issue with fixing it while it's in game, I don't know. Rendering the car again for some reason. Yeah, so we only got like 4 minutes left of the video, so let's go on board with the leader again, lap 17 here, and I think we did 18 if I remember correctly, or 19, but we've got a 3-second lead to Speedy Jab in second. Third place, 20 seconds back is Rooster. Fourth place, 46 seconds back is Dieterman, and fifth place, Yankees fan, is 147 back. So quite a big spread on this, and I think with this track being so technical and with this car being so technical and so difficult to drive, this was kind of a to-be-expected outcome where we spread out based on mistakes. And I think the timing, if I remember correctly, everybody was relatively close in time initially, or was that the Bentley I'm thinking about? I think it's a Bentley actually, now that I say that. So this car... Oh, quick, you got you back?
I'm back, sorry.
Nice.
I didn't know when to hit the button.
Oh, that's all right.
Didn't know what happened.
Yeah, so I think you set the qualifying time, and I think if I remember correctly, it was like 2 seconds faster, or 1 second faster than Rooster, I believe, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Might have been, yeah. Yeah, we'll go with a high 1 second.
Yeah, and I think I was 2.5 seconds or something like that back. So yeah, the field was actually spread out in qualifying pace alone, so we kind of expected that in the race, just because this car takes a little bit to get used to. But we're coming around to start lap 18 right here, and it looks like based on the body position, that might have been it. We'll see. Yeah, you're still hard on the throttle. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah, still doing it? Right.
Maybe. It might be the last lap here.
Alright.
Yeah, so like I said, there's a big gap between the field right now, so nothing real exciting going on, nothing to really watch, unfortunately. but that kind of brings the dull end to the video, I guess, or most of the time we're just chatting anyway with this race, but that's okay. So I want to thank our guest driver for coming on board. Quick Sketch, thank you so much for coming on board and commenting with us. I think we'll probably have you back for something else, and we'll definitely do the driver profile spotlight on you in a future video. So look forward to that. So any final words, Quick?
Awesome. Yeah, again, I'm definitely enjoying this. This is my first time in a league, first time racing with real people in that regard. So definitely looking forward to more and just be learning more and helping others if they need it, kind of thing. So this has been great.
Perfect. All right. That's exactly what we look for is a clean driver. Pace overall doesn't matter to us. It just matters that you're clean and aware of other drivers. And if you have the speed, which you clearly have, and you have the talent, then you're willing to kind of share your tips and tricks and secrets, and you're not guarded. That we kind of appreciate that. So thank you for offering advice and kind of help where it's needed. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yankees fan, what do you got? Final words.
The race was interesting. I had fun for the most part.
For the most part.
And I look forward to the future races.
Yeah, so coming up schedule, we've got 2 more rounds left in the IMSC and the International Manufacturer Spec Challenge. So we've got Rapuno and New Zealand coming up next, driving the CR Cogsworth touring car, and then we've got a very famous race car, a lot of boosts as we're finding out. And then we're driving in the second race for GT3 as we see some spinny spinners up in front. GT3, we're going to see the Aston Martin GT3, which is going to be fun to drive too. And then round 6, I'm totally drawing a blank. Where are we driving round 6?
Zhuhai.
Oh, yeah, Zhuhai.
Zhuhai, that's it. Yeah, DTM E30 Beamer and then the GT3 Audi.
Yes, you're right. I always remember that too because Yankee is looking forward to round 6. Aren't you, Yankee?
I was going to say,
Yankee's favorite car of all the time is the Audi R8. It's been well documented over the years.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys for joining. If you are interested in getting involved in some simulation racing like you've just seen on here, hopefully with more drivers next week, then you can definitely go and visit. You can check us out on Discord, or you can go to our website at Online Racing Collect, collec.wixsite.com, and you can go check out. We do Forza Motorsport 7. We do Project Cars 2, obviously. And we're looking into doing some ACC, hopefully on Xbox or on PC. So if you guys are looking for some clean, good, fun racing, be part of the community, definitely go and check it out. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Everybody have a good night.